Buddies and Betties, welcome back. I am Kristin.
I'm Bethany.
And this is my first time doing the intro, so please bear with me. So before we get started, let me tell you about a little something we do, which is the Buddies are now covering Legion, Kong, and will soon to be featuring Better Call Saul.
We're doing Walking Dead too, right?
Yeah, we are doing Walking Dead.
You and I are doing Big Little Lies. Mm-hmm. And this podcast is for FX original Feud that you are listening to.
Yes, exactly.
Someone's like, oh, this isn't what I wanted.
I'm a first timer and I will get better at this. So thank you. I'm very sorry.
Oh, stop it.
Okay, so please follow us on Instagram, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter. Please actually go on iTunes and review us. This is the best way to get us to get bumped up. And I would love to hear what you have to say. So we are...
Yeah, email us, boobtubebuddies@gmail.com. Questions, concerns, comments, accolades.
Please, accolades.
But literally, we've gotten criticism before. It's cool. We will shout you out either way in a very nice way.
Yes.
Let's see, what else we got? Oh, Patreon. We also have Patreon.
Yeah.
Just, if you want
Help
to.
me, I'm poor.
we're so hungry. All we have is our Coors Lights and
pizza
rolls.
I'm so hungry. Hold on.
Let's see, what else? Oh, in addition to our take on this week's episode, we will, as always, have our segment, Oh My God, You Know Who That Is, right? In returning tonight, and I know that you've all missed it from last week, is another edition of Feud Tube Betties featuring Adam, our fellow Boob Tube buddy, covering a famous celebrity feud.
Which I'm very excited about because Miss Bette and Joan has been compared to this, and we will get into that once Feud Tube Buddies is put out there.
Yes.
There's, like I have always said, there is nothing like a podcast to take the words out of my fucking goddamn mouth.
It's so frustrating. I'm so eloquent when I'm walking around my house alone, and then the minute we hit record, I'm like,
we're like tumultuous, ambiguous, and blah, blah, blah. And then I get on a podcast and I'm like, that thingamabob.
Do you have any housekeeping?
No, I don't.
Did we say everything we needed to say?
Yep, we're done. Bye.
Okay, well, let's jump into this episode.
Yep.
Episode 4, entitled More or Less.
Yes.
I like how this opens, the back and forth. I've never heard this expression before, where Betty is about to meet with her agent, and she thinks that this...
Boy Friday?
Yeah, what is a Boy Friday?
I've heard Girl Friday.
I've never heard Boy Friday before.
I've heard the Girl Friday, so maybe she was just doing... Is that your Girl Friday?
What does that mean?
It's like, I think it's a play on a Cary Grant movie.
Oh,
it's called
okay.
Your Girl Friday, or I think I could be totally wrong. And if I am, please write in or tweet at us.
Buzz is like, I ain't no fucking Boy Friday. I'm your agent.
The fuck
bitch.
is that supposed to mean?
What if you said that?
Jeez. Too far.
Betty
Too
Davis
far.
a cunt.
Sorry, I just went Stanley Tucci on your ass.
Betty Davis is like, you're good.
You're good. You're talented. So they've pretty much thrown what's left of their careers out on a B movie, according to the Boy Friday.
Right. And he's very kind, but he's like a 20-something, baby that has basically been... It's like Betty's been... we'll give Betty to the Boy Friday. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly.
And then it cuts to Joan with her agency.
At the William Morris agency, that big agency.
And she's...
which I call it the Philip Morris agency, which I'm pretty sure that's the tobacco company.
And she's obviously inquiring about all the offers she must be receiving. Mm-hmm. And it cuts back to Betty, and Betty's like, no offers? And the agent suggests maybe dinner theater, maybe a guest spot on Perry Mason's show. Joan, she's got no offers, and she's angry. She does. They tell her the landscape hasn't changed just because you've done this movie. There are no parts. And exactly right. Joan's like, fuck you, Larry. And fuck all of you. I found the movie before. I'm spending my own money anyway. And she fires them. And then you're exactly right that the Boy Friday says word on the street is you tanked your careers by doing a B movie.
Mm-hmm. And then Bette Davis puts out an ad for herself.
Oh my gosh.
In the actual papers, but oddly enough, that is true. That is a fact that Bette Davis did put an ad out, but it actually was put out before she even landed the role of Baby Jane.
Yes, which takes on a completely different connotation in that she put that out because she really needed work.
Yeah, it's like, we're going to take the truth, but we're going to manipulate it into the way that it works for us in the show.
So this is what I didn't understand, is that like some comrade comes up to Buzz, the young agent, and says like, looks like your credibility's been ruined. Here's page 7. Why would his credibility be ruined?
Because he's an agent who's supposed to get this person work. And if that person, especially somebody like Bette Davis, is going out and putting an ad out for herself, it ruins his credibility because obviously he's not doing his job. Which kind of is inaccurate because Bette Davis actually put that ad out way before, so none of that's really
way before she met Buzz Aldrin, who ends
Buzz
up
Aldrin.
being an astronaut. So he realized...
So Buzz Aldrin 1, Bette Davis 0.
His credibility was ruined, and he realized that science and space travel was his passion.
Exactly.
Then we get the opening.
Buzz is like, this is not my scene.
Fuck this, I'm going to the moon,
I'm going to the moon.
bitches. One step for Bette Davis.
2 truths and 1 big little lie.
The character Buzz is actually...
Bette Davis's agent actually went to the moon.
I'd be like, that's gotta be true.
That's gotta be true. No doubt. No doubt about it. Unseen.
The opening for the... Oh, and then the next... We come back. The movie's been edited.
Soundstage, beach, completely effortless. Oh, wow. Effortless.
Effortless.
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Once you've been drinking, chin chin.
Everyone can tell we did Big Little Lies before Feud.
And we imbibed.
We were about 6 beers.
So I think this is where we clink to the drink.
Oh, yeah.
Chin
Cheers,
chin.
my friend.
Effortless. Oh, my God. Do it. I need one of us to land it.
Effortlessly.
That's not the word I was looking for.
Oh, really?
Effortless.
You weren't going for effortlessly?
Oh, that is the word. I'm thinking effortless, less.
We got an email from someone named David about our Big Little Lies podcast, and he said how he thought we sounded intelligent. David?
We proved you wrong, David.
Okay, so this scene, the movie's been edited, and Pauline...
Everybody's afraid this is going to be a huge flop.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't necessarily know where that mentality came from, but Pauline says, why... And Pauline is the secretary to Bob Aldrich. Why does everyone think this movie has bombed already? It hasn't even released in theaters, and everyone's so martyrish about it. Like,
word of mouth. Everybody thinks it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. The next scene, we've got Fred and Harriet. Harriet's his wife in the bedroom. Harriet lives in that goddamn bedroom. All that woman does is sleep.
With that light blue house dress.
Yes, and her one eye that kind of veers off to the
You
right.
should be kinder.
I should be kinder. Beautiful.
Beautiful
Girl.
Beautiful straying eye.
And Fred is being very... What's that word where you're feeling sorry for yourself? He's feeling very sorry for himself.
He's self-deprecating.
Yeah, well, he's being very maudlin, and he says how they're gonna have to sell the house, but he doesn't know about this picture. And Harriet, who should who should have left his cheating ass, is very sweet. He jokes around with him to relax, and they joke about divorce.
Not leave you. During a bomb, I would actually leave you when you're at your most successful.
She says, you always get this way before a premiere. And then that one right eye strays as it's thinking about all of Bob's other love interests. The left eye stays trained on Bob. The right eye, that right eye knows what's going on.
Right eye knows what's up. Oh.
Pauline.
This is already fall Gilmore Girls to me.
That's a joke about our podcast about the
Inside joke, you wouldn't get it.
That's a good thing.
Unless You listen to our Gilmore Girls series.
That's a really good thing to do on a podcast. Just tell a bunch of inside jokes that nobody would understand.
But you would hear them, and then when somebody who doesn't listen to our podcast, they would definitely not get the inside joke.
Idiots.
You'd be totally in on it.
Pauline pitches her script to Mamacita, and I thought this...
I love the whole Pauline Mamacita dynamic during this whole episode.
It's so funny, and Pauline says that she has written a role for Joan in her script called
The
Black Slipper. And it's about, what is it, an aging dancer who pushes the young dancer off and kills her and then ends up taking her role.
It's pretty much a light in Showgirls.
What's funny about this to me is that this sort of happened with Joan. Her daughter didn't die, but her daughter had a role in a soap. Her daughter, Christina, who was much younger than Joan. Joan never had any interest in soaps. It was beneath her. Christina had this role, and something happened where Christina couldn't be there or was ill or sick, and Joan stepped into her daughter's role.
No.
Like 40 years, 30 years her senior.
That did not happen.
Swear to God, and played Christina's role for that episode on the soap. Stepped in and took
I need
Christina's
to see
role.
that episode.
Oh my God, it's so ridiculous. And what a power move, you know?
Oh my God.
I know.
I didn't know that happened. That's insanity. I'm sorry.
It's so Joan.
So Joan.
But that's kind of what this Black Slipper thing reminded me of.
I love that Mamacita's, she looks very like deadpan and not into it. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, that's a marvelous idea.
Yeah.
This is America. No one can tell you you're crazy.
I know, and I like that Pauline appeals to Mamacita as another, I think she's this like right-hand girl. The other right-hand girl.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And you're right. I kind of thought Mamacita would be like, no, Joan won't ever do that. But I hope Mamacita was really like that.
Me too.
That this is real. But yeah, you're absolutely right that she says marvelous idea. It's so sweet. And
I was
Pauline
very disappointed
so
to find out Pauline was not a real person.
Oh, Pauline's not real?
No, she's not real. She's based on like a compilation of women in that age trying to get ahead. And
okay.
So Pauline Jameson is actually a real person. She was Bob Aldrich's assistant, but she did not go on to direct or anything like that. She actually acted in several things, but she wasn't the Pauline they're making her out to be. It was like a mix of Pauline Jameson plus all these aspirations.
Yeah. And the movement of the time for women to want to take... Oh,
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
This next scene, you know how sometimes in this show, Joan is crazy. We know she's batshit crazy.
Yeah,
but there are certain scenes where Joan seems like she has lost touch with reality.
Yeah.
She's got like these like paranoid delusions almost.
Yeah, that's actually very I'm trying to think of all these words and I'm like, nope, not the word. It's very blatant in this episode.
Yeah, I mean, is that from the alcoholism? Like, what is it, a combination of things?
Like, when she should be happy, she obviously cannot be happy. Things are happening when it's not happening, and
I do understand that a little bit, though. Just having anxiety myself about when good things are happening to you and not being able to enjoy them. I sort of empathized with her a little bit there.
But I get what you're saying,
but being around people like that is miserable.
But do you take it in a way where it almost puts blame on the other party?
What do you mean?
Like, it's their fault I feel this way.
No, it's a completely,
do you know what I mean? Like, because that's how she almost comes off.
I'm always
like,
waiting for the other shoe to drop.
Oh, no, see, I'm exactly that way. Like, I'm in the way of, like, I got a good job, I've got an amazing baby, I've got a good, incredible husband. When is the other shoe gonna drop?
Right. Something
when
that's
is it gonna
got
happen?
to happen.
I obviously haven't come up into my point in life where the tragedy happens.
Yeah. And
that I get.
Probably we don't help ourselves because we watch and listen to really shitty
really depressing
murder,
stuff.
Crime scene, babies dying, people dying, mass
like
murder,
to the point
garbage.
where Bethany is now, beautifully so, thank you, by the way, warned me on our true crime podcast that we listen to, okay, you can listen to this one because it's not about babies.
Yeah, because your baby is younger than my baby, so now I can listen to stuff about babies.
And now you're like, oh, and you have like an older baby too, so it's like almost like a desensitized part of it.
Yes.
I have yet to become desensitized. I was desensitized before the child, and now I'm in a transition
it's
where
so acute.
It's so cute where I'm like, absolutely not. Even if a 3-year-old boy cries in a commercial because something was taken away, I'm like,
your tits fill with milk.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Joan at dinner, and this is what I'm talking about, where she's like, are they still watching? Mamacita's like, who? Everyone. There's blood in the they're smiling at you. No, they're smiling because there's blood in the water. Like, she's nuts.
She's provoking a fight. Like, she's just waiting for it.
She says it's 1937 all over again. And Mamacita, when Hitler took Austria, when they labeled me box office poison.
That was the best. That was so great.
It's just poor Mamacita.
It was such a perspective. Like,
I know.
It just really put those on levels.
It was so narcissistic.
That's where Joan's brain's at. Okay.
It's just all about her all the time. But Mamacita does try to broach the subject of Pauline's project to Joan. And Joan's excited. She's like, oh, and Bob will be producing it? Oh, okay, but Bob will be directing it? And Mamacita's like, no, she'll be directing. A woman director? Ugh, my career really is over. So not championing.
She's such a woman of the people.
Thank you. I'm just going to stop trying to say championing. I said it! I did it! I spoke English. Which is funny. No.
She's not. Scene,
who's the woman?
The Riveteer, Rosie the Riveteer.
Yeah, she's not Rosie the Riveter.
Rosie the Riveter. I'm
like,
the Riveteer.
She's the Riveter.
I'm thinking of the Rocketeer.
She's not Rosie the Rocketeer. Taking women's rights right into the space.
I think I like that just as much as you calling yourself a curvy girl due to scoliosis.
We get to this movie premiere for Everyone Loves Baby Jane.
My favorite part of that was the guy handling the film reels, where Bob was like, make sure the slides are correct because the atomic bomb went up on the second scene. He goes, really? Because I hear this one bombs in the first scene.
What a jerk.
My favorite line. I was like, oh, you catty little biatch.
If I were Bob, I'd be like, who the fuck are you?
Oh, I loved it. That was so great. Oh, I hear this one bombs in the first scene.
Everyone is expecting the worst. Joan. Betty isn't even showing up for the premiere.
Yeah.
Everyone is, except Pauline. Mm-hmm. And then they watch the movie, and the shots kind of show the crowd getting more and more engaged in the movie. And then the movie ends, and the crowd roars. They cheer for the movie, standing ovation. Joan looks so pleased. She comes out of the theater, and then she says Bob's name, and so Bob gets to see as all the people swarm to see Joan Crawford to get her autograph, and she's a light. It's like one of the few moments in her life that gives her pure pleasure because she was sexually abused as a child and is constantly looking for admiration and acceptance.
Have you ever seen one of those times?
Soap Dish? No. Yeah, what is that?
So first of all, I recommend this to you because it's a great, like, I think it's 80s or I'm going to say 90s comedy. It's all about behind the scenes on a soap opera, and it's got Robert Downey Jr., Sally Field, like a bunch of Kevin Kline.
I love Sally Field.
Oh,
I love Kevin Kline.
I think it's on Netflix. It's really good. But Celeste plays kind of a Susan Lucci who's been on the set forever, and there's all these new and up and coming people coming on. So her and either her maid or like her Mamacita quote, like her quote Mamacita, they go to the mall in order to purposely have people see her. And then all of a sudden she has a swarm of people and she's like, oh, I couldn't possibly. And then like literally that scene just took me back to that movie Soap Dish.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, that's Celeste. That is definitely Celeste Talbert.
It's so sad. And in this,
you have to watch that movie, by the way. It's so good.
Yeah, I will. There's a bunch of movies now I want to see. Well, that's an old movie, but bunch of old movies I want to see that have my interest has been inspired by watching Feud and learning more about not only these actresses but actresses and actors of that time period.
Olivia de Havilland.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, I could go on and on about that. You and I talk about that at length on our message board.
Well, I'm thinking that you and I should do a special screening of Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, and maybe bring it up in the April favorites.
Yeah.
And kind of do a follow-up on how we feel about that movie, because it has Olivia de Havilland and all of them in it. So
very cool. That would be awesome.
And I'm sure we will definitely hear about this specific movie in either the next episode or the episode after that.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I would like to say kudos to you. You are absolutely right. That they are definitely delving into the whole Oscar thing, and that they are going to make that
I cannot wait.
And the more I thought about it, it's like, that is an incredible story. Mm-hmm. It's an incredible story to add to this already interesting dynamic between two stars not getting along, and that they fueled movie promotions with that discourse between those two women, and then for it to end like that.
Every time you want to give Joan credit for being a smart, savvy woman, she comes up with something like that, and you're like,
in case you don't know what we're talking about, we've talked about it in previous episodes. Bette Davis, which we find out, gets nominated for the Oscar. Joan doesn't. We've talked about this.
Yeah,
and it's
this is not a spoiler.
It's
if
in
you
the
can look it up on
archives
Google.
of history.
Yeah.
That.
By the way, the Titanic sinks. Like, that's how I feel about this.
Joan goes to all the other actresses nominated in the category as Betty and says, "If you can't make it, I'll accept the Oscar on your part." And I feel like I'm spoiling, but it just...
No, I'm sorry, you're not, because it's history.
It just so happens that the actress that won, Anne Bancroft...
Yes.
For
the Miracle
couldn't be there, and told Joan, "Yes, you can accept it on my part." Joan accepted the Oscar.
And Bette Davis had to watch it all. Joan Crawford walk up on that Academy Award stage. And you saw it in the previews for next week, her walking across the stage in a silver dress.
Oh, see, I didn't see the previews.
And I was like, oh, that's it.
So we're going to get to see all that play out, and it's glorious.
It makes you want to rub your hands together and be like,
it does.
Yes.
That's the perfect rub your hands together.
Or do the whole, the new trendy thing. Yes, queen, yes.
Why is it yes?
Because yes is so yesterday.
What about yeast?
Yeast. Well, you know what? They haven't found that yet.
Yeast.
So just you wait, Mr. Higgins.
I guess yeast is a little creepy, but
yeast in my vagina.
Yeast infection. I don't know why I'm Mexican now.
Here we go from like amazing smart bunny to
yeast infection. Oh yeah. Dirty vagine. You're throwing your notes all around the house now? You're laughing so hard, you're tossing your notes in the air.
I have no idea what happens for the rest of the episode.
Well, it's a commercial break, and we come back to this scene that made me laugh out loud. It was so uncomfortable. Bette Davis dancing and singing to that made-up song, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Do you know that's real? I looked up pictures.
That's the thing I sent you on Facebook.
Oh.
That's the video I sent you on Facebook.
Oh, well then maybe that's what I saw.
You liked it, so apparently you're just placating me.
No, I'm forgetting.
So cool.
No, listen.
You're like, I've seen it somewhere. I'm like, I posted it to your Facebook yesterday.
Don't I do that to you all the time where you suggest something to me and then I'm like, have you seen something? Someone suggested it.
God
like,
damn it, Bethany.
I'm sorry. Okay, so you sent it to me. I was doing a lot of research today.
Because what I was really... this is what I saw. I saw, like, Susan Sarandon's, like, her mannerisms and the way she, like...
like, I don't know. Uncomfortable and...
So uncomfortable.
Cheesy.
Okay, I'm sorry. So uncomfortable and cheesy, but makes you want to put it on repeat. Am I not lying? Like, it makes you, like, want to watch it kind of over and over again and be like, is this real? So then I had to look it up. I love Susan Sarandon in Feud. This is amazing.
Susan Sarandon looks sort of miserable doing it.
So does Bette Davis, though.
But then they talk about how Bette Davis was relishing in this, like, the
She
newfound
was, but it was
celebrity
almost like a cheeky. It wasn't like her actually being miserable. It was more cheeky, like, yes, I can't do this via podcast. Like, you have to see my face.
her
like,
shoulders are moving. She's
all like this. Hope you guys got that.
Whoa, nice high kicks.
Thank you.
But that was so silly, that song that
I
she
loved
was
it so
performing.
much. I actually love that song. And I hope it's for download on like something like iTunes or something because I feel like I've heard that song before.
Can you make that my ringtone?
Yeah.
Although, when do we ever call one another? Who calls anybody anyway?
If I can make it your ringtone, I'm calling you every day.
Well, you wouldn't hear it if you called me.
God damn it. I'm making it my ringtone for you, and I'm making you call me every day.
Call me. Call me! Oh, we're friends.
No, we're so friends.
Clips of people lining up for the movie. Cheers again for Joan.
Love that it's like a cult classic with the kids. Like, it's already like, oh, these actresses are so old that I grew up knowing them, so this is so cool.
Right, yeah.
Like,
I
it's
didn't
very
think about it
cult
like that.
classic-y.
Yeah, like it's cool to like it. 'Cause
It's cool.
old.
Yes, exactly. It's cool to like it because it's vintage.
Do we have anything like that we can, like, what?
Do we have anything that we can like because it's vintage? How about us 30-year-olds being super excited about talking Bette and Joan?
No, I mean something new that comes out with old actors that we can...
I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, okay, so I hate to say, like, I'm not going to say old. I'm going to say, like, veteran, vintage, been around, but still beautifully amazing. For some reason, Jessica Lange was huge back in the day. Kind of, like, had a lull with the millennials. I'll say it like that. It had a lull with the millennials.
She's such a good actress.
And then all of a sudden came back with all these Ryan Murphy American Horror Stories. And next thing you know...
Ryan Murphy can spot the talent.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody who's the age of 18 in 2007 was like a huge Jessica Lange fan. And it's not for the lack of talent of Jessica Lange.
That'd be really weird.
It's the marketing.
Right.
So, 4th season in, all of a sudden, they're talking American Horror Story or some, Hollywood thing to an older person, and they can identify with Jessica Lange.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that
that's a good example.
That sort of thing.
Joan's reading her review, and she's pissed because everyone's raving about Bette.
So, Joan.
I know.
This
and
is so
Hedda's
Joan.
like, but you have the crowd. And, they wouldn't dare nominate her for an Oscar and not you.
But I love how she's like, I thought if this film was going to be a flop, that would be the worst thing in my life.
This
is worse.
I know, God, man, goddamn. Mamacita should be some sort of Saint Mamacita.
Seriously.
For living with that and dealing with that on a daily.
So if you happen to be the one person that listens to all the Betty stuff, Nathan and Joan are getting on my nerves in that particular way week by week.
Hashtag Big Little Lies podcast. Check it out.
Yes, exactly.
Bob,
same.
Bob, Aldrich, and Warner are meeting, and basically Warner is just giving him scripts that are exactly like Baby Jane, and Bob
He wants to be challenged.
Yeah, he wants to do big movies, and God, Warner's so mean to him.
Okay,
he says he's just a B director. Don't be delusional. And Bob's like, I'm done with horrors. I'm done with aging actresses. And Warner's like, when your movie bombs, you'll be back, and I'll probably take your call.
And the worst part of that sentence is, I'll probably take your call because you know why? Because I have a soft spot for losers, Bobby.
Oh, I
was heartbroken when he said that.
Because you can see that, I don't know their ages, but Bob looks
Man to man, that's awful.
And I think Bob sort of looks to him, not as a father figure, but as somebody superior who he's
as a mentor, like
right, that he's trying
somebody
to
who's
gain
there to kind of push
from.
him through and help him. So when that person looks at you and says, I have a soft spot for losers, I mean, I know that really hurt when Adam said that to me when I joined the Boob Tube Betties, and but it really kicked me into shit. So I'm good now.
That slave master? No, not slave master. Slave driver?
Slave driver.
Both expressions are
Slave master is
not
offensive.
okay. Slave master's offensive. I can't fucking keep track, okay?
Listen, you
write
hobo.
me an email. Joan's house. Oh, okay. So Pauline comes to pitch the script to Joan. And Joan kind of gives her a speech, a mentoring, like a piece of advice. But
on the
it's
one
so
hand, I
harsh.
respect Joan for being a bigger person, and she could have completely blown it off, ignored it, and just put it to the side and say, I don't want anything to do with it.
I'll get back to you, Daddy.
So I'll give her for being a big old woman, for saying, I brought you over here to tell you I didn't read your script.
I'm turning you down, not because you're a woman, because you're a nobody.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, and explains how Pauline should just be grateful for what she has, being able to be on set with famous people and do what she's doing and witness greatness, essentially. And, you know, Pauline, who's been sort of this strong, sassy character, leaves, and you can see
in her eyes.
the tears that she will refuse to shed in front of Joan, but that she's just trying so hard to hold on to, which I relate to so much because you and I talked about this. When I'm angry, when I'm upset, frustrated,
Let's put this as a we, because you and I are the same exact way.
When I'm in a
Frustrated
position where I
equals
have to
crying
just
to
stomach,
me.
yes, it's crying. And I totally agree. I've heard this from several different powerful women, celebrity, that you give your power away when you cry as women.
You do. Okay, so
and it's
Sex
like
in the
this,
City.
I can't.
Do you remember that Sex in the City where Samantha is meeting with the guy she was with forever, that hotel mogul, and he's like pretty much putting down women in the business, and she wants to cry, and it's not until she gets into the elevator and it shuts and then she breaks down.
Yeah.
I've had that. I am in a business where it is pretty
you're
much
in a boys' club.
I am in such a boys' club
You're basically Joan and Betty Davis.
that I have to
Sleep around. No, just
sleep
kidding.
around in order to get where I am. Sorry, babe. But no, like, I totally get that. And, you know, I am so, like, you and I are so alike in the way of frustrated, extremely frustrated. Does that make us bad for crying? I'm sorry, for lack of a better term, pussies for crying? Or should we be the bitches that yell? So you have one or two options in this situation. You can either be the pussy that cries, or you can be the bitch that yells.
It's just so much.
I'm the pussy that cries.
I'm. This
But
is
I have
how
to
I
come
sort
off
of,
as the bitch that yells.
If I have to try and illustrate it, there's so much feeling, whether it's sad,
It's-
anger,
it
that
builds,
it bubbles
builds,
up,
builds
and there's
through your
nowhere
throat,
else for
out
it
your ears.
to go.
Yes.
But my body has to spill it out. The worst is when you can feel it and you're holding on to it, and someone goes, "Are you crying?"
Oh, it's floodgates.
Don't acknowledge it.
Floodgates.
Don't cry. Don't cry. It's like I'm not crying for the reason you think I'm crying.
Exactly. You are not making me sad. I am so angry and frustrated with the situation.
Yes.
That all I can come up with, and you know what?
And you have not taken my power away.
Exactly.
You aren't making me cry. I feel so much more than
Exactly.
you, than anyone, that it's coming out my fucking eyeballs.
Exactly.
And my nose.
Exactly. And my ears. And my 2 urethras.
Big Little Lies reference. Listen to
Hashtag
the
big
podcast.
little eyes. Hashtag listen.
But you
No,
know,
I totally get that. I'm the same way. I even told my husband the other day, I'm like, we're not going to talk about this face to face because I know I'm going to cry and I know you're going to judge me for it.
Aww.
And he goes like, he's like, babe, I'm not going to judge you for it. And I'm like, prove it.
Oh my god. If my husband judged me every time I cried, oof.
Only happens once in a while when it's to his convenience, but who doesn't do the same back and forth? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'll pick something out of his that's out of convenience sometimes. It's just,
Yeah,
it's human. Sorry.
When you love someone, you are very mean to them.
The day-to-day, I mean, you affect who you're closest to.
Yeah, right. Because
So-
you know where their chinks in their armor are.
Exactly. I'm going to relate to the things we talk about, but in the end, my husband is the end-all be-all. And I have no qualms or, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it might sound crazy,
No.
but
You're just being honest.
yes, it's just honesty.
The next scene, we've got Olivia de Havilland. I love that we're both, like, playing with our hair.
I know, I was just thinking that.
It's like the characteristic of girls who've been drinking. They're rubbing their hair on their faces. Oh, the hair in my mouth. It's so good. Olivia de Havilland.
I must ask you a question.
Oh, man. Joan and Blondell are talking the success of the movie, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, and how it still didn't help women in the industry. And they allude to Joan drinking. They don't allude to it. They say Joan's an alcoholic, basically. But she called herself an alcoholic. And then Warner...
Twin curses of being a star are alcoholism and loneliness.
No.
Question here. Okay. This is teetering on the edge.
Are the curses of just being, like, a working mom.
Yeah, probably. Okay. I might be pushing the envelope here, but...
Push that envelope.
Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Not very good.
No, I have a question. Makeup?
Gay?
Makeup? Or real?
Giving her a white face?
Like, no, just her look.
Are you saying she looks elderly?
I'm saying her neck looks like a turkey gobble.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I didn't notice until my beautiful husband pointed out. Guys, my husband's awesome, I promise you. Jesus Christ.
Tell him not to listen to this one.
Jesus Christ.
No, he is wonderful.
He really is. He's kind of like the best thing ever. But Catherine Zeta-Jones in this.
I didn't even notice her neck. But it's got to be makeup.
It has to be. That's what I'm saying. He goes, no, he actually said, not like, oh, the bitch looks fucking old. He goes, is that makeup or is that real? And I go...
He's like, what's that vagina on her neck?
And I said, I think it's real as my reaction to him. But as it kept playing, I'm like, wait, is that makeup?
She's like, why do we have to have the prosthetic vagina on my neck?
They're like, sorry, Kathy. Normally we have a vagina to put in there or a turkey gobble, but we had to switch it out for both.
Oh man, that's funny. Warner shows up at Joan's house and he's pissed off that she's not promoting the movie and she's just sitting around getting pickled. Oh,
like a herring, like we are.
Yeah. Joan's just so focused on the Oscar buzz for Betty that she hits on him, and it's so sad, and
it's so
he's batting her away, and he says it wasn't cute when you were 45, and it isn't cute now. It's so sad.
Oh, that's even worse.
I know. And then this line, better be out there shaking hands and sucking dicks, which is like shaking hands and holding babies or whatever.
For every nomination they get, no matter what category, they get $1 million.
Oh, wow.
That's insane.
I'm going to start saying that. Kristin, you need to be out there shaking hands and sucking dicks.
What do you mean start? You've been demanding that since day one.
We got to get this podcast off the ground, woman. Shake hands and suck cock. Oh, suck
there's
cocks.
only one reason I suck David Park's cock, and that's it.
He says cocks, which I think cock is like grosser than dick. It's just more vulgar.
I don't know what vulgar means.
Vulva.
Vulva.
You better be out there shaking hands and sucking vulvas. Like, what?
Wait, what?
But Betty just showed the polar opposite of what Joan is putting herself through. Yeah. Betty's enjoying the movie's success. She's milking the moment.
Okay, so when she throws out all the Betty dolls and they're like, where's your sister? Where's Joan? And she goes, on the beach, dead. Is that a confirmation that she's dead at the end?
Yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to look at me and go, she is dead at the end.
I know you want that.
I want that so bad.
That's real. That's exactly what she said in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. That's awesome.
I know. And the next cut is Joan watching Betty on
Jack Parr show.
Okay. I was like, on the Carson Daily... No, Carson show.
Carson Daily Live. On Total Request Live.
And she's wasted, and Betty's not saying anything bad. She just says that there are a couple of old broads and blah, blah, blah.
How Jack Warner did not believe in this picture originally.
Yeah,
and then he couldn't put a nickel on these two old broads.
Yes. And she says nothing disparaging about Joan at all. But Joan is looking for anything to be upset about because she's upset.
Yeah.
And ends up calling Betty completely just 3 sheets to the wind, wasted.
Yep.
And says, I'd appreciate it if you didn't call me an old broad. And Betty says, Jesus, Joan, enjoy it. And calls her a pathetic old drunk. And if you're enjoying it, enjoy it half as...
No. She says, 50% of the success belongs to you. If half the success belongs to you, I would appreciate it if you would enjoy it half as much.
Right.
That's my favorite line.
I know, and it's just... Jessica Lange does an awesome drunk...
Oh my god, she's amazing at that.
Have you ever tried to act like drunk voice?
You sound ridiculous.
You sound stupid.
Yeah.
She does such
she's
a good
amazing.
job at it.
Amazing.
I love that. And then we get to a commercial break.
And oh my god.
Yeah. You want to do, oh my god, you know who that is?
Right?
Let me find my notes here.
Alright. I can start.
Oh, wait, no. Alright, guys.
End scene.
It's time for, oh my god, you know who that is, right?
Oh my god, you know who that is, right?
Aw, shit.
Nah, bitch, who?
Okay, Chris, did you want to start?
Sure. Okay. I'm going to start with, oh my god, do you know who Ken Lerner is?
Ken Lerner? No.
Ken Lerner plays Joan's agent at the the William Morris agency. He's actually done a shitload of stuff, but like one character in each show. I didn't even like cover half of the stuff he does. And he's got bit parts in things such as ER, Will and Grace, something as recent as This Is Us, People vs. OJ, the original 90210, and even as far back as Happy Days.
This guy plays who?
He plays the main William Morris agency. They've got all the agents and the guy in the middle. He was in like the first episode at the beginning when she puts her Oscar down and was like, you need to find me something.
Oh, okay. It's the same guy. Okay.
But he's got so much stuff. Like literally, This Is Us as recent as 2 months ago and Happy Days. Like, and put everything in between. He's done so much. But even according to IMDb and myself, he is most notably known for playing Principal Flutie, the principal of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And that's how I know him.
I actually have a similar story with the actor that I chose. Toby Huss, as, Toby Huss. Good old Toby Huss.
Good old Tubbs.
As Frank Sinatra. And he's a writer and actor, and going through his IMDb, I can't even list all the shit he's done from very early 90s until now. He's does a lot of voice work, most notably for King of the Hill. He was that Asian guy. Mm-hmm. I'm not even going to try to say his name. Beavis and Butthead, all the Beavis and Buttheads. Pete and Pete.
I know, I saw that, and I was like,
and then just regular acting. He was on Rescue Dawn, the movie Bedazzled. He played a bunch of different roles. Cowboys and Aliens. This most recent release of Ghostbusters. Blackish, Key and Peele, CSI, like every other fucking actor. Reno 911, 30 Rock, and Hey Dude.
Wow.
And
I love Hey Dude.
I know. I knew you would appreciate the kid show references.
I do.
And he was a writer for the Martin Short show.
Really?
Yeah. So a lot of work.
You know what's really funny is I did look him up because I wanted to know, like, I thought his accent was really good, or his impersonation.
Yeah.
Under trivia on
IMDb.
IMDb.
I saw that. It's like, does a really good Frank Sinatra impression.
I'm like, well, then that works. So, oh my god.
Oh my god. All right. Well, that was, oh my god.
You know who that is,
right?
Oh my god, you know who that is, right?
Aw, shit.
Nah, bitch, who?
Feud Tube Betties.
Try me, bitch.
Hey there, little buddies. Foxman here with another installment of Feud Tube Betties. This week's calamitous cast of celebrity characters, Kanye West vs. Taylor Swift. The saga began on September 13th, 2009, when Kanye jumped on stage as Taylor was giving her speech for Best Female Video. The infamous moment sounded something like this.
Yo, Taylor, I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. One of the best videos of all time.
And that was all anybody talked about for days. I'm sure you remember it. It was a publicity bonanza for the two. Even President Obama weighed in on the incident.
The young lady seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing?
Why would he do that?
He's a jackass.
Kanye, for his part, did seem to have some regrets about the way he handled himself, apologizing on Jay Leno's Tonight Show.
I immediately knew in this situation that it was wrong and it wasn't a spectacle or just, it's actually someone's emotions, that I stepped on, and it was rude, period. And, I'd like to be able to apologize to her in person.
He even cried about it a few minutes later. The next year, Taylor wrote a song called Innocent that seemed to address the incident, and Kanye started walking back his apology by saying that he actually helped launch her career by doing what he did on that fateful night. On August 30th, 2015, Taylor presented Kanye with a Video Vanguard Award at the VMAs, and everything seemed totes smooth. Both Taylor and Kanye seemed to have moved past the incident, until the next bombshell less than 6 months later.
I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why? I made that bitch famous. Goddamn! I made that bitch famous.
There was a huge controversy over the lyrics. Kim Kardashian, after venting her frustration on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, released a Snapchat video which clearly shows Swift approving the controversial lyric. Taylor says, "What's dope about the line is it's very tongue-in-cheek either way, and I really appreciate you telling me about it. That's really nice." The audio quality is the worst on that, so I'm just reading it out instead of playing it for you. After the video reveal, Taylor swiftly fired back, taking issue with being called a bitch in the song, and indicating that Yeezy never played her the full track as he promised. "Being falsely painted as a liar when I was never given the full story or played any part of the song is character assassination," she wrote on Instagram. Taylor does seem to have taken the high road more often than not. Her speech at the 2016 Grammys shortly after Famous released, it seems directed at Kanye without specifically calling him out by name.
And as the first woman to win Album of the Year at the Grammys twice, I want to say to all the young women out there, there are going to be people along the way who will try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments or your fame.
2 days after that, leaked audio came out from backstage at SNL where Kanye called Taylor a fake ass. The audio quality sucks, so I'm just not going to bother playing it. On June 24th, 2016, Kanye released the famous music video featuring nude Taylor replicas. West insisted the video had nothing to do with Taylor, but it was just a comment on fame. And then he tweeted, "Can somebody sue me? Hashtag I'll wait." My synopsis on the beef: super petty and almost certainly synthesized, or at least continually fueled by the enormous publicity it grants both parties. I mean, come on. That could probably be said of most Hollywood feuds, though. What do you think, little buddies? Is the Taylor vs. Kanye feud legit, or just an ongoing publicity stunt? Write in, let us know what you think, and that's it. I'll see you next time, little buddies.
They always say the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And that is why this Boob Tube Betty is such a Blue Apron buddy. Without the helping hand of my dear friend Blue Apron, I would never be able to prepare these incredible meals from scratch. Go to www.blueapron.com/BTB and sign up for $30 off your very first order. For many months now, I have impressed, Blue Apron has impressed all of my gentlemen suitors. Listen, they don't need to know that Blue Apron did all the heavy lifting. Again, don't forget to visit www.blueapron.com/BTB to save a little money as well as time. Thanks, little buddies.
Welcome back, little buddies. Hope you enjoyed our 2 segments, Oh My God, You Know Who That Is, Right? And Feud Tube Buddies, featuring our buddy, Adam, and the feud between Kanye and Taylor Swift.
Okay, so I have something to add to that. We've talked about over the series about how much we love You Must Remember This podcast.
Awesome podcast.
Can't talk it up enough. So she did a special called 6 Degrees of Joan Crawford. And in her special on Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, she actually referred to Kanye and Taylor's feud as a modern day Bette and Joan. Betty being the one who cannot help herself to kind of poke the bear.
So Betty is Kanye.
Betty is Kanye, who cannot help to poke the bear of Taylor/Joan, who they are well aware will react to whatever they say. And Joan not knowing, or Joan/Taylor not knowing what's going on, can't help to say, well, I would just much rather be removed from this narrative. And that is the perfect comparison.
Yeah.
I want to be like side by side, because I
so-
remember nothing on this podcast.
What's so funny is, so Adam picked the Kanye Taylor Swift.
Taylor
Swift.
The Taylor West and the Kanye Swift.
Without necessarily knowing that, but we've talked about that before, so that's cool.
Very cool.
Little.
We can't think of the word because we're on air.
Okay. Pauline gives her script to Bob, and I love how this scene goes.
Mm-hmm.
She's trying to sell herself. She tells him how good she is at everything, and he's like, I agree.
It's a great idea. It's a new world.
You don't have to tell me how good you are.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and it was very sweet. You know, of course I'll produce it.
And since you're in charge now, you can go ahead and give Sinatra his notes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is very true.
About Sinatra being a dick?
About Sinatra, well, yes. But about Sinatra, no matter what role he played in a movie, and this is me talking with a pizza roll on the side of my mouth.
We're eating pizza rolls and drinking
Very
beer.
sorry. But no matter what role he played, he gave his notes, and that's how he did it, no matter who the director was.
God, man. He wasn't even that good looking. He wasn't good looking.
And I love how he's like, you're staring at the camera. Well, they want to see it, Baby Blues.
Oh, God.
It's not Sinatra. Well, apparently, Crawford, Texas was a huge flop.
Good God.
I love that Victor Buono was actually in it, though.
I know. Well, we'll get there.
Yeah, sorry.
Betty guest starring on Perry Mason.
That was her idea.
Just guest star on Perry Mason?
I looked it up, and it was her suggestion to do Perry Mason.
Oh, that's funny, because they didn't make it seem like that.
No, but she needed work.
Yeah. And she's not above it, whereas Joan sees herself as above that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bob takes her to dinner, and he says, it's not fair that you and Joan aren't getting offers. He suggests a movie where she suggests a movie, where she plays both roles. It's very much Baby Jane-ish. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And
apparently she's already played twins before, but she's like, I'm a better actress.
Right.
The technology's better.
And he's gently trying to tell her, like, look, that's not going to happen. And she's mad. She's like, go off and make your Western romp with Dean Martin and Sinatra.
I'll just be here with my ashtray.
Right. Which he gave her that had the millionth ticket sold to the movie Baby Jane.
I think it was a pretty cool ashtray.
Oh, I know. And Bob's like, you'll win an Oscar and I'll write another big, I'll write you another big fat success. And Betty's like, I've heard that before. I'm still waiting for that to happen.
Since All About Eve.
Since All About Eve.
I would love to watch that together.
Yeah, we should, because they keep referencing it, and it's supposed to be a really good movie.
Yeah. And
That
of
she
course,
was raw. Betty was raw.
And of course, in a typical Hollywood fashion, as soon as Bette and Joan got announced for Ryan Murphy and the whole Feud show, they ripped All About Eve straight from Netflix. It's been on Netflix for 3 years.
And they took it
As soon
off?
as that came out, I went to go watch it. It's gone.
Oh, wow.
It's like how they take out all the Christmas movies during Christmas, and then all of a sudden it's March and you have Ernest Saves Christmas, like, right on your Netflix. I'm like...
Oh, I didn't realize they did that.
Oh, they do that for everything.
Oh.
They did not have Fargo 2 anywhere, so your brother Michael was nice enough to give me his login. And literally a week after we were done with it, which is a straight month before it premieres, it premiered on Hulu.
That's awful.
You'll come to notice that now that I've told you. Anytime a holiday or something big appears, They will pull it so you will pay for it.
Man.
Smart marketing, but fucks me over every time.
This next scene is where we meet the pleasant Sinatra. He's golfing. Bob is telling Frank his script changes are absurd for a Western. And like you said, Frank doesn't fucking care.
My favorite is like, listen, this guy is supposed to be getting money from somebody, and he's asking for foot rubs, and he's like, well, it's just gonna be like mine. Like, I'm not gonna run for it. Like, it's gonna come to me.
Right. God, he's such
Blow
a
me,
dick.
dude.
I know. And then while they're filming, like you said, Frank's staring at the camera, not listening to Bob. He's mad that Victor's made the character choice to burp.
I hate when people burp.
You're in bad company, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so the scene starts and Frank's not saying his line. So Bob Aldrich's sweet daughter is like, starts to read the line, and he's like, I know the line, you stupid bitch.
That was crazy.
I know. And Bob's like, you're out of line. And then he tells Bob, you're a nobody. And God
No.
damn, he's a fucking prick.
No, what he says is, I ought to have you decapitated and buried in the desert, you sweaty four-eyed ape. They won't even mark your grave with an X.
I'd be like, God, like, seriously?
Well, that was a little much.
Frank?
Listen, Frank.
Come
I'm
on,
gonna be
man.
Frank. I'm gonna be Frank.
I'd be like, look at your Cro-Magnon caveman eyebrow. You fucking dick.
I mean, like, you know, okay, I'm about to put blasphemy on the person I love most, but you see these, you know, God, I can never think of a goddamn word when I'm talking on this podcast, so I'm gonna start making them up. You see these dreamizations.
Okay, dreamatizations.
Dramatizations of Marilyn Monroe being this, like, far-off, beautiful woman, and Frank Sinatra being the mysterious, you know, like...
Yeah, it just seems like a little prick.
And in reality, you know, very different from what is portrayed. You've got this whole outlook of the Rat Pack and, you know, Marilyn and all that, and then what we really boil it down to is not as exciting as you'd want it to be.
No, it's actually very, very sad.
And depressing.
Very depressing.
It's very, very sad and depressing. It's hot, and it's actually pretty humid and warm in here, too.
Oh, we're so good at synonyms.
That's a source.
Warner, he apologizes to Bob.
Oh, this was another really depressing scene.
Oh, I know, but it's so fake, and he hears that Sinatra's been treating him like shit, and he gives him basically a list of movies to pitch to Betty. And listen, I'll help you out. I'll release you from this, you know, this Western that he knows
let's
is
say
a
he'll
failure.
release it.
Oh, he'll release it.
He doesn't even have a guarantee of a release.
Oh, I misheard that. Okay.
That's the sad fucking part. He doesn't even have a guarantee of a release, and he's still miserable in making this film.
Ugh. And he insults him about, you know, don't be offended if you don't get an Oscar nom for whatever.
Yeah.
And then Bob's like,
it's
let me
just
ask
not
you.
the type of you're just not the type of director your peers.
Right, basically
can
calling him like blue
acknowledge.
collar. Like B movie, blue collar. And he says, do I have any potential for greatness? Be honest. And Warner says no. And it's so sad. And so Bob looks so deflated and just like resigned and just, you know, the worst time for Pauline to come up to him and be pissed that he used part of her script as like scratch paper.
Which is honestly just bad timing, because
It's
if
just
I
bad
were
timing.
both people, I'd
can
be
see it both
equally as
ways.
pissed.
I know, I would too, but you know, Bob loses his shit on
Way to
her.
go, Pauline.
And honestly, I think that I probably would too in that moment. I'd be like, are you fucking
Vice
kidding
versa.
me? Right. I just...
Vice versa.
It
well,
sucks.
honestly, look, okay, so...
You know what it made me think of? I'm sorry.
It's okay.
When... Okay, so a parent, we're talking about like an abuse situation. Parent hits the kid. The kid has no way to retaliate, so the kid hits the dog. You know, it's just like the chain of boop, boop, boop. So Warner knocks him down a peg, and then he knocks Pauline down a peg and says all that shitty stuff to her. Like, look, you want to be my secretary? Be my secretary. If not, go somewhere else because I can find someone else to do your job.
I actually had that same thing happen to me at work today.
Oh, no.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, you did it? Because you're a big boss.
I did. Well, because something happened to me to where I got super overwhelmed and
Mad.
And then right in that second, one of my employees came up to me about something at that very moment, was very minute to everything that was going on as a whole.
Yeah.
To where I was like, listen, your problem is null and void to me right now.
Yeah.
I didn't say that specifically. However, I did text my frustrations to somebody in my personal life and went back and looked at my text, and I had not texted that person. I texted the employee.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
That was my day today, by the way.
Oh, no.
Yep.
Oh.
My entire frustrations with that person, not sent to my personal person. It was sent to that person particularly.
Oh, God.
Yep. Called that person immediately and was like, all right, I'm going to put the cards on the table. I'm very sorry. Here's what's what.
Were they receptive?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
they were
good.
like, okay, I get it.
We're all in our own bubble, and we don't necessarily always know what's going on in someone else's bubble.
Well, I try, and that's why I sympathize with this situation, because I really try to get to that person's mind to see where they are and put myself in their shoes. But just in this moment, it was just it was fate how things met at that each particular moment, where one thing. Okay, so
I mean,
I'm gonna get this through quickly.
Good.
I got told the other day that I had an open spot. So then somebody came up to me and said, I would like that open spot. I had no idea how to fill it. So I was like, you know what? I know you. You're great. Okay. 2 seconds later, I was told by the other manager that spot is no longer open. 3 seconds later, I was told by the hiring manager that I now needed to hire somebody different for a spot that now I don't have open.
Oh, God.
So it's like, it's definitely a layering issue where finally you go, I don't fucking care.
Right.
And I totally got that. And I'm sorry that I just went on that tangent. I
No,
haven't told
it's
anybody
fine.
today, so I decided to tell the whole world.
Yeah, it's just shitty. It happens to all of us. We're all over. I mean, we all have those moments. And I felt bad for Bob in that moment.
Oh, I felt so bad.
Because you know he's going to feel terrible about it.
I watched it for the second time today. So last night I felt bad. And then today I was like, oh,
I'm Bob Aldrich.
Bob, I get it. I totally get it, Bob.
And he's, Pauline has taken what he said to heart. She meets with Mamacita, and she says...
My favorite scene of the entire... Is this when they go to the diner?
Pauline says maybe
My favorite scene of the whole episode.
Maybe Joan is right. Maybe I'm just being too ambitious. And Mamacita is her champion and tells her
this is my favorite
not to give up. And has gone to the library and shows her...
The census reports.
That over the years... Yeah, no, go ahead.
I was just going to say how women continually outnumber the men.
Because we're stronger.
And it just... I love how her deadpan face, where it's like, no, this is a fact, and eventually the women will take over, where the parts have to be about women, by women, for women.
I like that it's not an I feel sorry for you kind of speech either, which is what I tend to do sometimes. It's this is fact. This is going to happen. I know. She says, keep your head up. Your day is coming.
That was my favorite. Like, this whole scene.
I know. I loved it too.
Me and Jason were watching it, and I think Jason was doing something else while we were watching it, and he couldn't help but lift his head and watch it. Like, it was such an inspiring, unassuming scene that you would never think would come of anything. And all of a sudden at the end, you're like... glued. You're like, oh, go, Mamacita, go.
And it was the perfect thing Pauline needed,
Yes.
She was getting discouraged.
That's why I loved it so much. Because it was like, your day is coming. And it's not because I'm just bullshitting you and blowing smoke up your ass. No, here are the facts and here's why.
Yeah, it was very cute. And I like in the middle of that Pauline's like, you didn't take that out of the library book, did you? And Mamacita just keeps going.
I loved it so much.
The next scene... kind of the last scene.
The setup for next episode.
Joan in bed, way hungover. The phone is off the hook, and she's sort of stumbling all around her house. All the phones are off the hook. She's sort of putting them back. She looks very disoriented, confused. And then she's calling out for Mamacita, and then she sees Mamacita and Joan's like, what are you doing? I told you to wake me up earlier. They're announcing the Oscar nominations this evening.
At first, I thought they were going off script and they were about to kill her.
Mamacita says, Miss Joan, I need you to sit down. You need to sit down. And then the camera pans to the outside of Joan's house. It's getting farther and farther away. And you just hear this blood-curdling scream. No! Which clearly indicates that Joan hasn't
been nominated.
Joan has not been nominated, and maybe somebody else has.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the
Stay
episode.
tuned.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's Betty. I'm thinking Betty's nominated.
I think it's so too.
That
I
would-
think Joan might do something about it, though.
I think she will. I think we talked about it. Yeah, that was a good episode.
It was a great episode.
We've got 4 more left.
And you know what really, pumped me? Is you had to ask me which one we were going to do the Oh My God for. If you're a listener, we also do Big Little Lies. And I was like, hey, we actually have new people.
On Feud, yeah.
So I liked the addition of the Frank Sinatra and the different characters
Yeah,
and
it's
everything.
nice to get fresh meat, fresh blood.
Now I just want Sarah Paulson.
Yeah, when's she gonna make her
She's supposed to be in this
triumphant
last
debut?
She was supposed to be in this last episode, so.
You get this from IMDb?
No, I got this from something else too, because I decided to double check my sources.
God, they're never right.
It's to keep you on your toes.
Well, we are on our toes.
Okay then, it's to keep you on your toes.
We hope you have enjoyed our Boob Tube Betties podcast. Did we go over the other shows we're reviewing? I think we did.
We did.
But
yeah, seriously,
so
if you have
check us
any
out.
thoughts.
Yeah, if you have any thought... Ooh, sorry, I just kicked the table with my restless leg syndrome.
Go.
If you have any thoughts, concerns, questions, whatever, please send them in. boobtubebuddies@gmail.com. We will read it. We'll write you back. We'll shout you out. We appreciate anything and everything. So let us know. And if there are any shows that you want reviewed in the future, let us know. Check out our Patreon site. Do it.
Pay us. Let's make this blatant.
We only have a few more Coors Lights left.
Give me your money.
We can't do this sober.
This is a stick up.
See you next time, little buddies.
Bye.